So last episode, I have to watch ugly people flirt. And this episode, I have to watch ugly people do the ficky ficky. Here, let me fix that for you. See, much better. I can even sing it for you, cause everything is better with a 7 of 9. Seriously, just think how the ratings would double. Instead of Daj, you would have a 7 of 9 mamacita there. Mamacita. Now, I don't think we're going to see any mamacitas in this show because beautiful women have confidence, especially social confidence. And the writers seem to be spooked by confident women, and as such, we're not going to see them. But anyway, let's leave all the jokes aside and talk about the serious business, whether this episode was good or not. Well, if you're a Star Trek fan, you're going to hate it because very subtly it undermines some of the core aspects which made Star Trek Star Trek. And if you're a person that likes some logical consistency into your show, then you're also going to hate it because you're not going to find it here. But if you're a person that just manages to shut their brain off, or you're like a teenager, a very young person who doesn't understand how the world works, then you're probably going to enjoy this episode. And by the way, even with all that said, this episode does have a couple of good things that I like. And I'm going to get through them at the end so that we can finish on a positive high note. But first, let's start with the bad. Let's start with why I think this undermines Star Trek. Now, every season of Star Trek and every spin-off from Voyager all the way to The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, they had this theme of different cultures being different. And the reason for this being that when you say different races in Star Trek, you don't mean it in the human term. It's like black and white and Michael Jackson and Sean King. No, you mean it in the way of different races as different alien life. Like people who never interacted with each other, who even have different biology and different way of thinking, are coming together and they're trying to find mutual understanding and cooperate together for the common good, like stopping the Borg. And this is very interesting because you get like the Ferengi, which are motivated by profit. You get the Vulcans, which are motivated by logic, and they try to suppress emotions. You get the Klingons, which are very warrior heavy, warrior like. So all these races, they do have these stereotypes, which shape their culture and their way of viewing the world. But when it's about the Federation, it's about having these different views and different cultures working together to achieve the common purpose. And you don't see this in Picard at all, which is quite a shame because they want to explore the Romulans. And the Romulans are very interesting as a species. They are like the Vulcans physiologically, but they don't suppress their emotions. So the first two Romulans that you see are Picard's little helper, the one he makes them work on his plantation. And yes, it's a grape plantation. Shut up. Now, they're acting just like any other human. And at first I just said, okay, well, they're doing this because maybe they grew up on Earth for a while. And I still think it's a bad director decision to have the first Romulans act completely human and not have anything Romulan to them. But okay, but as the show moves on, you find out that there's this Romulan sleeping with a vibrator. And she is a vibrator because she's a machine. So, there we go. And I thought like, well, aren't the Vulcans different biologically to the point that they only mate once every 7 years and they call it porn far or whatever? I know what it is. Just let me do the joke. Jesus, like, Trekkies get really triggered. But... you wouldn't see a Vulcan just have casual sex with a human female. Because it's like they want to show that while they look human, they're still alien. Like they have different biology and whatnot. And here you don't. It's like, again, the Romulans are acting human. And this is taking away from the enjoyment of watching Star Trek because it's not Star Trek anymore. Part of the drama, like, most of the episodes in Star Trek in the beginning were all about all these different points of view and all these different races finding common ground. Like they're so different to one another that it's very difficult to find an understanding, yet they had to find common ground in order to, I don't know, explore the universe or whatever. And all of that is missing because there is no more common ground to be found if they're all acting human. The second thing which really bothers me is the technology. So when you look into Dodge apartment, you get to see something horrible. Now, I know a lot of you didn't appreciate my vineyard comment, and it's like, oh, well, you see, Picard has a vineyard since the next generation. Why are you complaining about it? It's like, yeah, but it didn't make sense then, it doesn't make sense now, and I will argue you to the death. I will have like internet blood sports again, arguing about Picard's vineyard until death does me apart. But anyway, right, so you look at Dodge's apartment, and you see a cooking stove. What is this? Why is there a cooking stove there? Like, this triggered me. And you might go like, well, V, it's just a minor thing. Why are you so nitpicky? Like, no, as I mentioned, it's subtly undermining what Star Trek is. Because it takes away from the coolness aspect of Star Trek. Let me tell you what the coolness aspect is, okay? If you look at the next generation, it would have been very easy for the producer to just give computers to everyone on the bridge. It would have been a lot simpler. But no, instead, they created this technology that they thought this is how in the future things are going to look like. And almost everything on board of the Enterprise is different than what you found in your own bedroom at the time. And what actually happened is that Star Trek managed to predict so many gadgets that we have today. Things like the iPhone, for example, or the tablet. So, because the writers showed creativity and ingenuity, and they thought it's like, okay, we're not going to use common household items. Instead, we're going to think of brand new and cool things and cool gadgets that people might use in the future. They actually managed to predict a lot of them. So why would you need a cooking stove if you have a freaking replicator? Like right next to her is the replicator. Why does she need a cooking stove for? It's an item that doesn't exist in the future. There's no need for it. It's like having one of those buckets that ladies with big tits would take them to the river to wash clothes when they have a washing machine at home. It makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, right, my point is that Dodge's apartment should have looked entirely futuristic with items that we do not have in our own homes. And it would look, it would create the desire for me to be in that universe, because that was one of the most attractive features of Star Trek back in the day. You would definitely want to live in that universe. You would want to have one of those tablets in your hand, or a tricorder, or any of these gadgets that those people used, or, to go on the teleporter, or to go where no one has ever gone before. It was a world that looked so great that you would want to have a run on the holodeck. And nowadays, it's like, pretty much like my apartment, except, okay, it got a little more futuristic stuff with some holograms and whatnot. But other than that, it looks the same. And the reason this is because the writers lack creativity. It takes a lot of creativity to come up with a tablet in a world where tablets don't exist. And to think, okay, this might be a gadget in the future. Like the way technology is working, I assume people are just going to have like this little thing where it's going to be like a collection of papers. Because they could have just gave Picard a lot of papers and a pen on his desk. Every time someone walks in his office, he's writing and signing some papers. But they didn't do that. Instead, they gave him the tablet, because that's what they thought is going to exist in the future. So again, like lack of creativity from the show writers. Now let's talk a little bit about the show itself and the action. So one of the things that really bothered me from the start is the story's lack of logical consistency within the universe. Because here's the thing. Let's say you want to go sci-fi. A lot of people will say, well, it's sci-fi, why do you care? Listen, you moron. Let's say we take Superman, all right? And you're telling me that this is an alien that can fly, can shoot laser out of his eyes, and do all the things Superman can do. And I'll be like, okay, that is suspension of disbelief. So from now on, every time I see Superman flying, I'm not questioning it. Because that's part of what he does. Like, it's part of the science from your fiction. But if Superman was to just walk up to the president and snap his neck, and no one would ask any question, like people would pretend that they don't, this didn't even happen. They're not even talking about it. Well, now your story doesn't make sense. Because even though you told me that Superman can do all these things, I'm not going to question that he can snap the president's neck, because that's obviously something that he can do. But what I will question is that I expect the rest of your world, the rest of your universe and world building, unless you're telling me that people are under the influence of some mind control or something, that they will act the same way real people would act if an alien would come and do that. So what I mean with Picard is that last episode, he was on a rooftop. He suffered blowback from an explosion. And this episode is fine. Now, I'm not going to question why Picard is fine. I'm not going to question why Picard didn't manage to have a broken hip, because all of this is explained through the lore. Their medical advancements and their medical technology is so far ahead that, okay, even if you have an old man being caught in a blast, maybe they can treat him. I'm not going to even ask why Picard was at his own home rather than a hospital, because maybe in the future, technology is so advanced that everyone has like a hospital machine in their own apartments. And whenever someone is in critical condition, the order from the ambulance equivalent is to take them to their home rather than a hospital. I'm fine with that. Okay, like I'm fine. You can somehow explain. What you can't explain is why is there no investigation? Like, that was a highly populated urban city with a massive explosion going on a rooftop, and you're telling me there's no investigation, especially in a society that is almost free of crime, as they described it in Star Trek. So there's no police officers coming in and asking questions. No one is asking Picard what he saw. He doesn't have to give a statement somewhere. Nothing. Nothing. For all they knew, Picard would have been the one blowing shit up. But no, hold on. He's not the one that blew shit up, because apparently they have the video with the Romulans fighting. But they removed Dash from the video. And it's like, do you understand how stupid that sounds? Because now it seems that the Romulans are being beaten by an invisible force, by an invisible alien or something like that, which would have been cool, because if I was a screenwriter, I would have just said, yeah, there might be some invisible alien beating these people up, and we need to find it. And now they would send them on a wild goose chase or something. And Picard would be like, no, it wasn't invisible, it was this, and no one would believe him. And that would have been for more interesting writing. But instead, we're told that no, they just remove Vash from the video. Well, do you realize how the video would look like? They probably do, which is why they don't show it, because you don't get to see it, because it looks. But anyway, right? So apparently Picard goes to his Romulan servants, the plantation workers, and tells them about this. And the Romulan chick is like, "Oh, listen, it's the Romulan super secret police." How did you deduce that? How did you deduce that? Like, you the only thing you know is that this chick is being attacked, and it's like, oh, it's the Romulan super secret police. It's not the Romulan secret police. No, this is the super secret police. It's like, okay, from what I understand, the Romulans had their sun blown up, and billions of them died on the planet because the androgyny androids back on Mars decided to blow up a shipyard. So, literally every single Romulan would have a grudge on synthetic life, meaning that even if they're not part of the super secret police, if they found out that this chick is an android, any sort of rebellious Romulan faction would have like a massive boner grudge on it. So, why would you deduce that just because she's attacked and these people are using a technology that Picard wasn't really that shocked to see, you're deducing, oh yeah, it's the Romulan super secret mega police. And okay, let's talk about the super secret mega police. Apparently, they harbor a secret so secretive that just by hearing it can blow your mind. And I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. But she happens to know the super mega secret of the super mega secret police. It's like, well, if it's so super secret, how do you know it, bitch? Apparently, it's that they hate androids and a lot of buzzwords and stuff. This is it? Like, this is the secret? Why is it a secret? Why do they need to harbor a secret that they don't like androids? Why? But, I generally don't like secrets are usually kept for a reason. Like, you don't want people to know because, it can damage your movement. or you can spread panic or anything like that. But no, apparently they don't like androids, and that's the secret. And it's not like it's irrational or anything. Like, again, the androids managed to blow up one of the most important starports of the Federation, which was on Mars. So clearly they're dangerous, but okay, yeah, I mean, it's a complete irrational loathing. I understand, I see. I mean, apparently this organization was alive for thousands of years, and they had like this irrational fear of androids, which ended up just stopping the rescuing of the Romulan whole planet and ended up killing billions. Well, it seems that the Romulan super secret police might have been up to something, doesn't it? But anyway, right, so they go to Dodge's apartment. And again, it seems that in the future you can just do this. Like, you can just teleport into someone's room. There's no security measures, there's no alarms, there's no police. Like, no, seriously, imagine this. Imagine you're watching some good hentai and you're stroking it, and someone just teleports next to you. It's like... So Picard teleports with this lady. I don't even know her name. I'm just going to call her servant lady from now on. Teleports with servant lady into Dodge's room. And she whips up this technology that apparently can show you images from a crime scene. And Picard goes, oh, that's against the law. It's like, why is it against the law? Well, apparently it doesn't show accurate displays all the time. Well, if it doesn't show accurate displays all the time, wouldn't that mean it's not admissible in a trial? Why would it be against the law? I mean, lie detectors don't work 100% of the time. And yet, when you go to the court, you just can't push it as evidence. But it doesn't make the lie detector illegal for civilian use. Complete nonsense. But even then, it's like the Romulan lady is saying, oh, no, see, it works. We just lied to the Federation that it doesn't. Wouldn't the Federation have its own machinery to test the technology? And if you somehow manage to lie and it shows that it's got like a 50% accuracy, they would be like, all right, well, let's take the basis principle first and try to iron out the kinks so we can make one that's 100% accurate. And even then, like, why would you even want to lie to the Federation that a technology that's neutral, like, it doesn't necessarily hurt the Romulans unless the implication is that the Romulans are committing murders everywhere, and they need to lie to the Federation that this device, which could uncover the murders, doesn't work, and try to push it to make it illegal or something. But anyway, right, so they use this device which shows the exact moment where Dodge was killed. I don't know why it doesn't show when she was masturbating or when she was playing League of Legends, but no, it shows like the last moment. Fine, whatever. And they find out that someone tried to tamper with it and tinker with it, with the technology, whatever. Then Picard goes to ask him for favors, and he returns to Starfleet. And I really love this scene because this is exactly how university professors act. Like, they expect you would know their name. They expect that everyone knows who they are. So Picard goes at this guy at the desk, which doesn't even have a chair. Like, why doesn't he have a chair? Is it more futuristic if he stands up? Like, do you want to torment the person for no reason at all? But anyway, he stands up behind this desk without a chair. And he's like, good morning, sir. It's like, yeah, I'm here to see the Admiral. And then Picard makes these puppy's eyes, expecting it. The guy's like, motherfucker, what's your name? The fuck do I need to know? So I kind of liked it. Like, if you're a person that goes to a university environment a lot, you'll see that this is how professors act. They expect everyone to know who they are. So he goes to this based Admiral lady. And I really like the encounter because, you see, the entire show is trying to make you feel that for some reason the Starfleet and the Federation are the bad guys. And I just don't see it. Like, I'm sorry, when Star Trek was pushing a moral conundrum on me, I would look at it and it would make sense. It's like, yeah, this is a little bit messed up. Or, yeah, I kind of understand what they're going with here. But here you're trying to shove your ideology, your leftist ideology, which is not even like leftist as next generation leftist, like far left, far left ideology of pathological empathy on everyone else. So, for example, the chick is saying that the Federation not only wanted to save the Romulans, but even 14 other member races from the Federations were threatening to leave if they saved the Romulans, which at the time were the enemy. So basically, the Federation was on the verge of collapse. You know, so the whole thing was like, if we save our enemy from something we didn't create, like we're not involved in this, but if we save the enemy, we can lose the Federation. And Picard was like, of course you should still save them. Like, the Federation doesn't get to decide who lives and dies. It's like, motherfucker, you literally are. You literally are. Like, you're literally sending ships to decide that they live. And you know what pisses me off? It's like, if you look at the Prime Directive, if this was a civilization, if instead of the Romulans, you had the civilization of monkeys, which didn't really have warp travel, and their sun would go supernova, the Federation wouldn't be allowed to intervene. Like, it's not like you would save all the life from that planet. No, you'd only save the Romulans. You literally do get to decide who lives and who dies. But I guess the only thing is because the Romulans have access to warp technology, that it's okay for the Federation to save them, and if they didn't have access to warp technology, then they wouldn't be saved because of the Prime Directive. What on earth is Picard talking about? Like, throughout the history of Starfleet, there must have been hundreds, if not thousands of planets that didn't get saved because of the Prime Directive. You know, like, something would happen on that planet. Maybe the two races would go to war and destroy each other. Maybe there was like some natural cataclysm, and the only way to save them would be for the Federation to reveal itself. And they didn't do that because of the Prime Directive. And now that it's another planet, it's like, oh, okay, well, unless we destroy ourselves, unless Starfleet destroys itself by ignoring the fact that someone damaged their most important shipyard, by ignoring the fact that 14 other races want to leave the Federation, no, they should go on with the rescue mission and divert all of their resources, all of the manpower, leave Starfleet undefended just to rescue their enemies. Picard, are you insane? Is it the tumor? Apparently he's got a brain tumor now. Is it the tumor that's causing you to think this way? Because the old Picard wouldn't think this way, you know? The old Picard, yes, sure, he was a little bit of an idealistic person, but he wasn't a complete moron. So, what I liked about this episode, though, was the introduction part, you know, with the androids. I really like the banter and the interaction between the members of Starfleet and the Plastic Man. I wish I would see more of that. It was really cool, and it did show, you know, like the people from Starfleet enjoying working there, like they were having fun. And it did show like that utopian universe where people are going to work and they're happy. They're content. They didn't feel like it's work. They actually enjoyed working there. I loved watching that. Now, I also like the mystery with the Borg cube, and you know, seeing how they're trying to analyze it and finding out what that is. Trying to integrate some of that technology. That's cool. So, yeah, towards the end you see that Daj's sister is getting boned by a Romulan, and there might be something that they're trying to find out from her, and that the Federation is actually infiltrated by the Romulans. So, you know, there's that mystery over there. But again, it's not Star Trek. Like, if they would have made this into a new show, if they would have called it V's Mighty Penis or something, and you would have like completely new characters, this would be great. This would be excellent, because it's not a universe that you're messing. It's not something new. But no, instead, you decided to go with an IP that everyone loves, and you know that people are having expectations from it. And you're just ruining that IP by removing the originality of the races. Okay, Vulcans need to act like Vulcans, Romulans need to act like Romulans. Because it creates drama. But I guess they don't want drama, right? Because all Star Trek was about was people having conversations. Like, there was so much talking in an episode, it's not even funny. But now it's all about the lasers and the pew 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 and oh look, Borg technology and green, green, green. It's like, okay, yeah, that's very interesting. But this is why you don't have the drama. This is why you don't have the conversations. And not to mention, the way they solved the mystery with Dodge was so forced. Like back in the Next Generation when they had the mystery, if you as a viewer would pay close attention, you might get a couple of hints here and there and be able to unravel the mystery yourself. Here, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to use this technology that can see the molecules, and yeah, oh, this happened. Oh, I know it's the super secret police. You know, it just cut that shit out. Also, I like the idea that because Picard, I guess, is a disgrace now to Starfleet after that interview, this is why he just can't bring his old people back. Because, you know, everyone is going to ask, well, why doesn't Picard bring LaForge and Worf and, you know, all the others? And the reason is like, well, apparently this mission is under the radar and it's not sanctioned by Starfleet, so he doesn't want to involve them. Like, they needed to find a reason within the story why we just don't see the old actors coming back. So there's that. But anyway, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys, I guess, at the next episode review.